everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps and the Axe-Fx3. I'm going to be your host, Lucas, and today we are going to be looking at the legendary Marshall Preamp, the JMP-1. If this is your first time here, make sure you smash subscribe because we are going to be going through all of the amps and the Axe-Fx3. So what you heard in the opening was actually one of the older JMPs. It's called a Brit Pre in the Axe-Fx, and this was modeled way back when, and Cliff actually redid the modeling for this one and he took it out, but a lot of A-list artists wanted it back, so he actually put it back in, and I'm really glad they convinced him to do it because this Brit Pre sounds so good. So you have the Brit Pre, and then we're also going to be looking at some other models that are modeled off of the JMP. So Cliff went back and he modeled the OD1 from it, and then we have that same OD1 with a bass shift, and then it just kind of gives it a little bit more bass. Then we have OD2, and then we also have OD2 with the bass shift. So let's actually go back and look and get some more information about the JMP. Really quick though, before we do that, IRs I'm using for everything is going to be the ML Mars Hair Metal Marshall cab, and this one is actually based on the 255 1B412 Marshall cab from 1987 and has the G12T75 Celestion speakers in it. So let's actually look at the JMP. So this is what it looks like. It's a little gold preamp like this, and what's very unique about it is you can see it when we come right here and Cliff talks about it. So the actual preamp itself, it had two clean channels, and then it had an OD1 and OD2. We just have the overdrive channels. We don't have the clean channels from the JMP. And what's interesting about it is the tone stacks themselves inside the preamp were preset, and as he says in here, that they were hardwired with resistors. So the tone stack was already set, but it had a graphic EQ that basically equaled out to bass, middle, treble, and presence. And the reason they did it is the technique, it gets around the problem of trying to digitally control the tone stack. So in the actual Axe-Fx itself, whenever it was modeled, it's a little bit different because you can actually kind of control the tone stack. And then on the remodeled JMPs, the tone controls have more range. So the preamp was ±8, and the Axe-Fx is ±12, and this is what I was talking about on the bass shift. It's a subtle low frequency character control. When selected, it thickens the bottom end of the sound and tightens the playing feel. On clean selections, it adds body and overall. And on overdrive, it provides extra low end throb, which is essential for a heavy rock sound. The bass shifts can kind of be okay. They kind of help you not have to jack as much low end into your tones, but the bass shifts are kind of hit and miss. So yeah, the bass shift ones were created with the bass shift actually engaged itself, and I believe that's everything when it comes to actually reading and knowing about it. Oh, let me talk about this right here about the ODs. So OD1's a warm invented drive reminiscent of the Marshall Super leads through a modern day master volume, and it features a purity of distortion from golden age of plexiglass super leads. And yada 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 yada. Anyway, guys, all this information is from the X. I'm going to put a link to that in the description down below so you can check it out. OD2 is supposed to be more of a high gain mode, but I don't find it has that much more high gain than OD1. I kind of expected it to be more in the JCM 800 range, like, you know, super high gain in your face. It's not really all of that so much. So let's actually go back to the amps and let's check them out. So what you heard in the opening, that was the Brit Pre, very first one that was modeled. I really like this one. I think this one is actually my favorite JMP model out of all of them because it has this just pissed off sound to it, and I find that it gets its gain a lot faster than what the other models do. So I'll kind of play around with it a little bit and I'll let you hear what I'm talking about. everything that you heard was all dialed in on the intensity tab. I didn't really mess with anything in Ideal. And like I said, this one has such a pissed off sound. Mess with the EQ. I didn't mess with anything else. I scooped a little bit of mids out of here because let me let you get a comparison of EQ on and off. So I scooped a little bit of the mids out, and then 150, the 125 and 250 have this kind of honk thing, and I jacked up a little low end to give it a nice good thunk that I like. And you're gonna see later on that I actually scooped more out of the other JMPs, but the Brit Pre, it's so good. The Deftones actually they use the JMP, they use an Axe-Fx now. I wonder if they use a JMP in the Axe-Fx. That would actually that'd be good to know. So let's move on to the new one. So this is going to be the JMP OD1. JMP OD1. Look at the gains I have on here, rather the input drive, excuse me. And look at the volume. So I have kind of the volume set around the same, but I'm going to switch and I'll let you hear what I'm talking about. See what I mean? The Brit Pre has like way more gain than this one does. This one sounds pretty good when you jack it all the way up though. So you see I'm even at 10 and it's not even equal in the gain where the Brit Pre is like on like 4.5 to 5. I like OD1 more than I like OD2. OD1 kind of gets you, it kind of feels like a classic plexi to me, to where like there's gain there and you got that kind of like that classic rock chunk, but it isn't so much blistering in your face. I put the presence up. I didn't really crank the master volume. I did that on one of the last ones that we're gonna look at, just to kind of give you a varying difference. Did not touch anything in here. By the way, it uses EL34, just like every Marshall one in the main pretty much. Here we go, this is the EQ section. As you can see, I scooped a little bit more 500. The 25 and 250 and 125 are kind of much in the same place. Didn't really put as much low end in it because it kind of really didn't need to. By the way, the guitar I'm using is a Fender Tele. It's a Fender American Professional Tele Deluxe with the Shawbuckler pickups in it, and everything you've heard so far has been on the neck pickup, which is the more bassy of the two pickup. The setup is pretty much the same as the Brit Pre, and I didn't, I kind of just dialed it into where it sounded good. I didn't really go overboard with it. So I'm gonna play. I'm gonna like have an open chord, and I'm gonna go to the next amp, which is gonna be the bass shift one. So as you heard, there's a way more low end in here. Look at what my bass is there as compared to there. It's a little bit lower. The low end comes up a lot quicker on here. Didn't put as much 63 in this one. Once again, I got that slight little scoop going on. I left a little bit more 125 in here. The bass shifts are okay. I'm so used to dialing things in without extra bass already in the amp itself, so I kind of just rather OD1 to tell you the truth. So OD2, while we're here in the EQ, let's check it out. Actually a little bit more subtle of a little slope I got going on here. What's the relative difference? Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, you got a little bit more here, but it's pretty much the same. I'm gonna do the same thing I did. I want to go from OD1 to OD2 so you can kind of hear the difference between them. See, OD2 sounds more darker to me. I have more mids, and this one I have a little. I have a little more mids, and it have a little bit more bass to get some low end in it. OD2 is, I don't know. I think it does have its use, but I don't get along with it for some reason. I don't know why. I really didn't touch anything else in any other section. And I'm sure if I came in the ideal, I could, you know, sculpt it to get it to sound pretty close to OD1, but I don't like to do that. I just kind of like to dial amps in the authentic tab, so that way they can kind of get the same baseline when I'm dialing them in. Once again, IR is the same exact for everything. So now let's go on over to the bass shift on OD2, and I'm gonna do the same thing, play and then shift over. Once again, it's pretty much the same darkness as we had before, but you got more low wind in it. See, I took a lot of like 500, and I can probably take some more of that out there, to tell you the truth. This could have its use if you're kind of going for like a really, really dark tone. I just kind of prefer OD1 and the Brit Pre, personally. Now, I bounce between OD1 and Brit Pre. Now I'm going to bounce between OD2 for you and Brit Pre. I like the Brit Pre better because I find it has like this really cool clarity to it that OD2 definitely doesn't have, and OD1 kind of gets there, and I really do like OD1. OD1 it kind of reminds me of a more mellow Brit Pre, but just Brit Pre just has this pissed off sound. It kind of reminds me of the slash amp that Cliff dialed in before the actual slash amp was available. I'll put that link up top so you can check out, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's let me go look at it. It is the, sorry guys, hold on. This one starts with a B while I'm on it. So a little sidetrack here. It's the, what is it called? The Brit Silver. No, Super. Brit Super? Yes, that's it. Yes, Brit Super. It's definitely the Brit Super. It has that like, it's a slash amp before the slash amp was actually in the Axe-Fx, and it has this clarity like the Brit Pre has, and it sounds super sweet. So guys, that is going to wrap everything up for the JMP-1. Guys, if you ever have a chance to actually get this amp in real life, I would highly suggest it because I really love it in the Axe-Fx. It has its own unique sound, and in real life you could probably actually combine it with, you know, any type of power amp that you want, and it would sound great. So if you want a cool amp to have in real life, I would definitely check this out. If you want an even cooler one to check out in the Axe-Fx 3, I would definitely implore you to check this out. So give me your tips and tricks in the comments down below. Do you use the JMP-1 in any of your patches? I would if I were you, because it sounds really sweet. So guys, let me know your comments, your concerns in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed this. Smash like if you thought this video was really cool. And I'm going to have to be out. Peace.